What?
I just threw a pillow.
Why'd you do that?
It was an accident.
Miguel, this is why we can't have nice things.
We have nice things.
We just like to throw things. Hey guys!
Hola!
Welcome to Sippin Spillin with Sid and Mike from 3 Mississippi. Good evening. Yeah.
Or good morning.
Or whenever
Depending on when you watch this.
Yeah, whenever you watch this. So
it's brisk today.
it is chilly. I just got back from church. We were handing out pantry boxes and it was cold in the gym. Like with the garage
They
roll-up
probably had
doors.
the AC running.
No, the garage roll-up doors were open and the back door was open, so it was like a little wind tunnel.
Ooh, I just got a little wind down my neck.
Yeah, it was chilly. It's a little chilly. It's like, I think it's like 60 today.
Yeah, it's not cold.
It's not cold, but it's like there's a crispness in the air.
Yeah, it went from warm to like
Not warm.
not warm. So,
Yeah.
but we got the rain we were looking for yesterday. We got what?
Got some of it.
3/4 of an inch.
3/4 of an inch.
That's what the rain gauge said.
That's what we got.
So, I mean, that was enough rain for what I needed on my deer food plots. I had just broadcast seed right on top of the soil that I tilled, so I was hoping for a good rain to kind of beat some of those seeds down.
Well, you drove over it with the...
I drove over it with a...
Yeah, you drilled it in a little.
Yeah, a little bit, but it not enough. I mean, it was basically bird food out there if I didn't get some rain.
Yeah.
So, and we got a good hard rain for a little while, so that was good.
Yeah, we did. It was windy. I think, yeah, it was a decent, quick, short, but decent storm.
And then we've got a little bit of rain coming this weekend, the way it looks.
Yeah.
And then probably, 4 or 5 days later, a little bit more rain. So it's like, I mean, it actually looks right now like it's perfect for germinating and getting those seed plots going, those food plots going. And then it's supposed to be, between 60 and like 75 degrees in between, which is good temperatures. Winter rye, and I actually threw some clover out and one of them, just a bunch of random stuff, some peas, some brassicas.
Peas and carrots. Me and Jenny.
So
peas and carrots.
Yeah, hopefully we start seeing some green popping up out there.
Yeah.
And
which would be good, because then, I mean, our buddy Will, who Will and Jen are in the process of moving out here, he basically just brought a load out here, turned around, is getting another load and coming back. And depending on how long he ends up staying out here over the weekend, he might help with putting up the electric fence around.
Yeah, I'm gonna put what's called a 3D electric fence around part of one of the food plots. Probably, I mean, you guys, if you know what an exclusion cage is, a lot of times people will put like just a round, piece of goat wire, 3 or 4 feet tall in the middle of their food plot somewhere, because what that tells you is how your plot is actually growing, and it gives you an idea of the browsing pressure. You might go out there and think, man, this stuff's not growing at all, but in reality is the deer herd is actually browsing it down. And that's why people put these exclusion cages so that you can go look and you can say, oh, okay, well, it's a foot tall in the exclusion cage and it's browsed to the ground everywhere else. Gives you an idea.
Isn't your trail cam pointed at it too?
I do have a trail cam pointed out there, yeah.
So.
But you can't really watch things grow on a trail cam.
No, but you could see if there's lots of deer, because the trail cam turns on every time.
Yeah, but that still
whispers
doesn't
at
tell
it.
you if they're browsing it down completely.
All right.
Because the trail cam just takes short bursts,
No, I get what you're saying.
So, but I'm going to do the exclusion cages in the one plot, but in the other plot, I'm going to put a 100-foot square electric fence in the middle of an area. Around an area, 100-foot by 100-foot square. And I'm going to do what they call a 3D fence. So you've got 2 lower fences and 1 higher fence, and they're all single strand. But the deer, because of depth perception, they look at it and they're not sure they're landing, so they tend to not jump it. The research I've done is that those types of fences are better for deer because of the depth, than trying to do, a high fence and spending a ton of money on that. So anyway, I'm going to try it out partially because I want to know, because I have my whole garden to think about next year, and I want to know what's the best way to keep deer out of my vegetable garden. And secondly,
You
assuming
just
it
put a
does
deer
work,
do not enter sign.
right?
That's
Right.
all.
Deer do not trespass.
Yeah.
Or you'll get lead poisoning.
Right.
Yeah. But also, if it does work, assuming it does work, I have no reason to assume that it's not going to. That's going to give me a big 100-foot by 100-foot area also now that is not browsed. So when it gets down to, a week before I'm getting ready to rifle hunt that area, I can go tear it down, give them a few days to get used to something's different. It's not there. Oh, but there's a bunch of food there. And then, maybe it'll be like shooting deer in a barrel. I don't know.
Somebody gave you a hard time in the comments that that's like cheating when you're baiting deer. It's not really hunting anymore. I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you're doing things to better the herd when you're going to be hunting on your own property, and our property is not 7,000 acres.
First of all, I'm not a sport hunter. Okay? First of all, that's important to know. I'm not a sport hunter. I'm not a trophy hunter.
Right. I'm a fill your freezer hunter.
Right. I grew up in Tennessee. You need to understand, in Tennessee, you're not allowed to bait deer. You're not even allowed to put a salt lick out. You're not allowed to
Or you weren't. Somebody said you are now, but you weren't.
Oh, maybe that's changed. Yeah. When I was growing up, you had to go hunting. You had to hunt deer. You had to learn where they were going, where were their natural food areas, where were their bed areas, where were their water areas, all three of which are important, and then figure out what trails they were using. You had to hunt deer. And as a young man, I enjoyed the hunt, as much as I enjoyed eating them. But where I am in life today, understand that we have an extremely huge deer population here in northern Mississippi. There's a ton of deer. In fact, in some areas, there's probably too many deer. And that's why Mississippi Fish and Wildlife allows you to harvest more deer than in a lot of states. They base all that on the population, and more does, right? So we have a massive amount of deer here. And for me, harvesting deer off of our property to put in our freezer to feed our family goes right along with all of the other things that we like to do, like growing food and raising food. And, so that's just kind of how I look at it. So if my plan is to harvest a couple deer to put them in the freezer, I don't see the point for me in turning that into a sporting game, right? Instead, what I want to do is I want to thank them and give them something in return, instead of just throwing some bait out there to pull them in so I can shoot them, which I put a corn feeder out there, but I also put it right in the middle of a big food plot where I'm growing winter rye and brassicas and clover. And then these are all things that, those does, once they're pregnant and then again start making milk, this is all food that's going to help the herd. So that's my thoughts on that. Everybody's different. Some people are trophy hunters, some people are sport hunters. I'm not. I just want to go put some deer in the freezer.
We're going to make him go blindfolded. We're going to spin him around a few times and then shove him out into the woods with his gun and say, good luck.
And I'm the same way with fishing. Like, if I go catfishing, I am going to get meat. I am going to do the most efficient thing that I can do at the time for that body of water to fill the meat, the freezer with catfish, right?
Right.
If I go largemouth bass fishing, now I'm going to play. I'm going to have fun. I don't harvest bass. I return them back to the water, and I like to sport fish bass, But trout, no, I'm harvesting those. Now I want to catch them. Catfish, I want to catch them. I want to put them in the freezer. So, it's different. I mean, when I was a kid, we used to just put out tons of trout lines and jugs and, make it as efficient as possible. what
Right, because that's how you guys ate sometimes. Like that was where
Right.
your food came from. Like that was it. Like he had to take care of that. So I
So
mean,
it's different for everybody. It is, and I totally get it. I'm not going to tell anybody they're wrong. I have a different mindset about deer hunting than some people do. About all kinds of hunting. Like, I don't really hunt squirrels anymore, because it's a lot of work for a little meat. Same thing with rabbits. Um, I I don't duck hunt because we were raising ducks, and what's the point? I don't turkey hunt because we've been raising turkeys, and what's the point?
yeah.
So for me, it's hunting isn't as much a sport as it is okay. There's food on my land. I'm gonna put some of it in the freezer, and I'm gonna try to do my best to make the rest of it healthier so that it sustains throughout the next season and the season thereafter.
Right. 100%.
It was a little bit of a rant there, wasn't it?
He's good at those.
Yeah.
He's good at rants. Do you want to hear my story?
I don't know. If you're asking me a question, do you want an honest answer or?
Well, I don't know. Do
I guess let's hear your story.
So, I picked Frankie up from school today because we had to go straight to church for pantry box day, and I told her, I was like, oh, I gotta stop and get gas because tomorrow morning I gotta leave bright and early, and I gotta take Mr. Bunko, the outside cat, to go get snipped. And it's a ways away, so I have to make sure I don't want to have to stop and get gas in the morning before I go. So I was like, oh, we're just gonna stop and get gas. We're running ahead of schedule, so I was like, I have time. So I'm standing there pumping the gas, and I hear, ma'am, and it sounded like something was wrong, right? Like there was something urgent happening. And Frankie's sitting in the passenger side, and I'm sitting on the driver's side,
We're about to have UPS come up the driveway.
That's cool. So standing there and with the door, and I turn around and I see at the stoplight, which we always laugh, it's like the longest stoplight in town. It's like the main street. This guy's in a red Camaro in the passenger side, like getting out of the car, and he's like, ma'am, do you have Snap? And I was like, and he was like 20.
Snap?
Like Snapchat.
What?
Yes, and I looked at Frankie and I'm like, oh my god, he's hitting on me. And I looked back and I was like, no. And I just was like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening right now in front of my daughter. And then he's like, well, let me get your number. And I was like, I am very married. And he's like, that's okay. And I was like, I am literally on my way to church, and Frankie's dying in the front seat. Like,
I'm gonna go over there and get the package from UPS so he doesn't have to walk over here.
Okay. So absolutely just dying, laughing, hysterically. And in between, I didn't realize it at first, but she whips out her phone and she's filming me going, oh my gosh. And then of course the light won't turn green for him to go. And so I'm sitting there going, oh my goodness, please just let this light turn green so that this awkward, weird, moment can just pass and we can just get out of here. And it was the longest light. I swear it was the longest light. It took forever for it to turn. And Frankie's just dying the entire time. And she's like, ooh, Mom, you still got it. I was just laughing so hard because it was just the most awkward everything, basically. Sorry, the dogs are gonna go crazy because UPS is here now, but can't time these things. This is real life, And I remember too, when we were moving out here, all my friends were like, oh my gosh, are you still gonna be able to get packages and deliveries? And I was like, yeah, I can. We're not that far in the boonies. But anyway, it is what it is. So Mike's carrying boxes now. Just set it there.
What's in these?
Why are you looking at me like that?
What's in these boxes?
You don't need to know what's in my boxes.
Can I open them?
Why do you want to open them?
I want to know what's in them.
Why are you so snoopy? Maybe they're Christmas presents.
UPS guys looked at me and he's looking at our setup over here.
Yeah, that was probably weird. Was it our regular UPS guy or was it a different one?
I'm not sure that I know who our regular UPS, but yeah,
I couldn't see him from here.
This guy and I have interacted at least once before.
Oh, okay. Well, then he's used to seeing the lights out here at least, because we a lot of times leave them on the porch. So yeah. So anyway, that was my funny story, and Frankie thought it was hysterical. She filmed part of it on her phone. You can see it later, but you heard most.
Did she
of
get
the
his
story.
face?
I don't know if she got his face.
License plate number?
No, it was a red Camaro though.
I need to have a chat with this kid.
And he was like 20, early 20s.
About the important things.
Yeah, like early 20s. But it was hysterical. I thought it was funny.
If he's driving a Camaro, he didn't have a gun rack in the back.
Well, he wasn't driving. He was in the passenger side. He was hanging out the
So he doesn't
passenger
even
side
have
of his best friend's ride.
He doesn't even have a car.
No. Don't want no scrubs. Yeah. So that was my like, and I was having the most mom afternoon too. Like picking Frankie up. Like I was first in the line to like go get her, go stop and get gas so I can run errands in the morning. We're on our way to church, and then like 20-year-old Camaro boy, like just right in the middle of all that.
Good for you.
Funny. No, I just thought it was funny. Frankie was dying. Like, dying. Anyway, that's all I had to contribute. What? Oh, I did. Yes, those are horses. We got, well, at last check, we already have 15 subscribers on Rumble.
Really?
I need 20 to make my custom URL on Rumble. So if you haven't, and you have a Rumble account, go over there and subscribe to 3 Mississippi on Rumble too, so that I can at least make my custom URL.
We'll get when we do our live.
Yeah.
We'll get to the 20.
We will.
We'll be able to convince 5 people to go. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't go. If you have a Rumble, and so, is it subscribe? Is Rumble kind of similar to YouTube? I still haven't gone and looked at our Rumble.
Yeah, you still subscribe.
You set it up yesterday, didn't you?
Yes.
Before yesterday?
Yesterday.
I haven't.
I did not set up Sippin Spillin on there yet, because then I started working on something else today, and I'm still working on. I'm gonna make a link tree so that all of our links for everything are in one spot too.
Yeah, I don't know that we need to put Sippin' Spillin' on there for now.
It doesn't hurt anything to make a separate.
Okay.
I mean, it's just another. I don't know.
It's just another thing.
Just another thing, chicken wang. But I am working actually currently on a little video of us using the pew pews the other day when Will was still here.
For Patreon.
For Patreon. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't think of the words. The words coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can put a version of it on Rumble too.
That was accurate. We could. Yeah. So, but yeah. So still working on that. It's 3/4 of the way done, ish, maybe. But yeah, and then.
I watched the video this morning that she just finished.
For Friday.
For Friday.
Of me with
Will
nature.
Of you with nature.
You know, I checked. The side of my truck is scratched.
I thought it was. I heard it.
Yeah.
I heard it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys check out 3 Mississippi on Friday and see what happened.
Yeah.
It could have been a lot worse.
I'm clearly okay, but
well,
maybe not in that way.
Let's not get ahead of yourself.
I'm okay enough that some 20-year-old hanging out the side of his best friend's ride.
All right.
Trying to get my digits. I'm just saying. I know. And I didn't even get a chance to tell Beth my story at church because we were so
When he
busy.
asked for your number, you should have just went.
I should have been like 8.
1.
No, I should have been.
I'm number 1.
No, I should have said, oh, you want my number? 8675-309.
He would not have understood.
I know.
He'd have been like, cool, I got her number.
Yeah, and that would have been the absolute.
You like apples? I got her number. How you like them apples? Somebody name that movie.
He wouldn't have gotten that reference either.
No, but somebody in here,
yeah,
tell me what movie that was.
Somebody's still trying to figure out that phone number.
Yeah, the youngsters.
The youngsters are going.
Yeah.
What?
You like apples?
Jenny.
I got her number.
8675309.
It's a good thing you weren't doing that when he was scoping you out.
Don't lie, you find me completely irresistible.
Simply irresistible.
We could do this all day.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
You never
I don't
know.
know how entertaining it is for the masses, but we tickle ourselves. I tell you what.
Don't think for a minute that we have masses watching this.
I mean,
there's a few.
There's the people. Well, we consider you guys the masses, the people.
You're our favorites.
Yeah. I mean, You're our diehards.
of the masses, you few are our favorites.
Yeah, you're like the cream of the crop. You're the curds from the whey. The whey is the stuff you...
No, I know.
Yeah.
I just have never heard that reference.
Oh.
I've heard the cream of the crop.
Right.
But that's about it. I think you're making stuff up now. I do. That's what I think.
I think you're made up.
I am.
Yeah. You're making
of Adams and
Eves.
Woo! Come on.
Oh my goodness. I just, yes.
What's in your cup? What
it's
are you
water,
sipping?
Just water.
I'm sipping sweet tea.
Hands God, it's
water. I did not make this sweet tea. This is store-bought sweet tea.
Yeah, he's slacking on the...
I'm slacking this week.
Sweet tea making. And he won't let me make it. I don't know why. I offered to make him some, and he was like, no, I will do it. And I was like, okay, but then he didn't do it.
She doesn't know how to make
And then he's like, buy me some sweet tea. What do you mean I don't know how to make... You think I can't figure it out? You think that I didn't hear Beth give you the same recipe? You think I can't do it?
I think that you will change the recipe thinking you know better. Like you do with anything that has sugar in it.
That's not accurate. No. You already...
Or salt. It doesn't need that much salt. It doesn't need that much sugar. You will change the recipe thinking that you're doing the world a favor.
Listen, Linda. Here's the thing. All right? You already changed the recipe. You were doing it like half lemon juice and half...
Oh, I quit doing that.
Honey and whatever.
I was the only one that liked it. Frankie didn't like it with the lemon in it.
Which is weird because she loves lemonade. And she doesn't mind an Arnold Palmer sometimes.
Right, but she doesn't really like them.
That's accurate. She's weird, though.
Yeah, she's weird.
No. I don't know. She's what she is.
So, what else is going on this weekend? I think Friday... Oh, when's Will going to be here?
He said he's going to his mama's first, getting there Thursday, late afternoon, evening. And then... Friday, he said he was going to come by. He's got to drop off a couple of his birds, and he's going to pick me up. We're going to go with him, and Ryan and I are going to go to Aberdeen because he wants to go run an errand. And then, and he wants my opinion because it has to do with Jen. So, I don't want to say any more because life.
Aren't we supposed to go to Ryan and Beth's Friday night?
Yes. But... that was before I knew that Will was going to be in town. So I don't know what's going on now. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. But, and I still don't have details on that. They might turn around and just leave because they're tag team driving.
Yeah.
And Ryan, from what I gather, has to get back. So he may not stay. Will was going to go ahead and stay because he's got the inspection on the house that they're in escrow and hopefully scheduled for sometime in the next few days. And he was just going to stay for that. But... everything's a little up in the air, so I don't know. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll wing it.
He'll either be here or he won't longer or
well,
not.
and then...
oh, no.
And then there's a possibility that we're getting a Polaris Ranger on Friday. Saturday. 29th.
Right. Yeah. Accurate.
So...
accurate.
I think I have negotiated that with the lady, and the last communication, last text message she sent me was that she was going to be ready to let it go on Saturday the 29th. So if all that goes well, then we'll probably have Ryan help me pick it up. Yeah. Because he's got a trailer.
The other Ryan.
Yeah, the Ryan, the Houston Ryan. And because he's got a trailer, and he's been wanting to show me his back 100. But in order to get out there, we need another ATV. And so what we'll probably do, just for funsies, is since the lady I'm buying that from lives over in his area, we may just go pick it up from her and go back to his house, and then go toot around his land.
Okay.
And then bring it back here later that evening. But
then I get the side-by-side because Frankie already stole my four-wheeler and you already stole it.
At what point are we all going to realize that this is all community property?
Yes, but I don't get to ride them at all because you guys are always hopping on them and I'm like...
Hold on.
What?
First of all.
No.
Linda. You don't get to ride them at all because you don't go out and ride them.
That's not accurate. accurate. Every time we're gonna go do something, Frankie like, I'm taking the four-wheeler, or you're like, I'm taking the four-wheeler.
Did you forget that you're the mom?
Videographic evidence.
Did you forget that when Frankie says I'm taking the four-wheeler,
Well,
all you have to do?
It. She just hops and leaves.
Yeah, well,
she hop and leaves.
All you have to do is call shotgun. Don't you remember that game?
Well, I was an only child, so it wasn't really a thing.
All I'm saying is,
I'm just saying.
Frankie never takes anything away from me that I don't want her to take away from me, because I just put my foot down and say, get in the truck.
Yeah, but she's almost as big as I am. Like, she could take me if she really
probably
wanted
could.
to.
She's scrappy these days.
Yeah, she is. Anyway.
Man,
Well.
I'll pay money for that fight.
Pay-per-view, baby. Ding, ding. Anyway. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We appreciate you guys, our diehards, our cheese curds, if you will.
How you like being called a cheese curd?
No, I'm just... Anyway, we love you guys. And we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.